How is everyone doing? Wow, first I gotta say, this is full house on a Sunday morning. You guys didn't party last night? You guys didn't have like Friday night fever? Okay. First is on behalf of Fujifilm, I gotta thank all of you for kicking off this weekend early and also joining us this wonderful Saturday morning to witness a highly anticipated launch of the new Fujifilm X-T30. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the media, please give yourself a huge, huge round of applause for joining us here and not being in bait. Please give yourself a big round of applause, guys. Now, my name is Arthur and it is my absolute pleasure to be your host for today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, they all say that great story always deserves a sequel. And today, these cameras that we're going to unveil makes no exception to be introducing us yet another powerful, versatile, outstanding camera for everyone to own, like a novice photographer like myself, as well as advanced. Ladies and gentlemen, for most of you have known that the Fujifilm has evolved its X series, become better and stronger since the year 2011. Could you please join me to give the Fujifilm a big round of applause for never compromising its quality, design, and size as well. Now this camera makes the latest addition to the X series. I wouldn't want to be a spoiler because of course Thomas will be sharing more in depth later on. But I had a grip on it, and I can say that as usual, Fujifilm is always outstanding from its image quality at 26.1 megapixel. Really light, very lightweight and compact for everyone to carry at 383 grams, making it one of the lightest in the universe. And most importantly, of course, is that it features the 4th generation image sensor. Now, as all of you, I see no gray hair here, so everyone is very young here. So, probably, I guess you just dye gray color, right? So we can see we set up as Instagrammable as possible. So we have flat lay outside, and also the whole entire setup to really make it as Instagram-worthy as possible. And of course, for everyone here in this room to be snapping as many photos as possible, and also to upload on social media. And do not forget the official hashtag would be #FujifilmNY, #TheLittleGiant. As well, also do not forget MYXT30. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I will be repeating a few more rounds on the official hashtag because I know how important these hashtags mean to you. But ladies and gentlemen, we are all here today, of course, to witness, and also very shortly we'll be unveiling this really highly anticipated model. But without further ado, we shall now kick off this launch by inviting the man which requires no introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me to put your hands together to welcome the Managing Director of Fujifilm Malaysia number 1, Mr. Hiro, to come forward to deliver the speech.
Members of media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning and very warm welcome to all of you. Today was a special day for us to finally introduce our 4th generation X-series in Malaysia. My name is Hiro Matsura, and as Managing Director of Fujifilm Malaysia, I'm truly excited to be a part of the launch and be able to present to all of you revolutionary X-T30 mirrorless digital camera. Since taking over the reins of Fujifilm Malaysia, this is my first time in Malaysia, and what a fitting occasion this is it is for launch of a little giant. I was amazed and overwhelmed by the response that Fujifilm Malaysia has received since our last launch of our X-series camera. And this time is no different. I'm truly humbled by all your support for us throughout our year here in Malaysia. The design concept of the Fujifilm X-T30 was aimed at bringing more convenience to our consumers, and I'm sure the little giant will definitely leave you fascinated and moved by its high performance and functional system. On behalf of Fujifilm Malaysia, I would like to extend my thanks to everyone present today with us in witness such a memorable moment. Our team will continue to innovate and launch more products in giving our consumers the ultimate photography experience. We have some units of Fujifilm X-T30 going around for you to try out to get a first-hand experience of our Fujifilm X-T30. Our colleague Thomas Fan will later be sharing with you the future of camera in a short while. So please stay tuned. To cap on my speech, I'd like to present a new X-T30 video to all of you. Please enjoy the video. Thanks so much. Have a pleasant day ahead. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hiro. Short, sweet, and spectacular. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what Mr. Hiro said. Now please feast your eyes on the screen as we're going to give us a quick teaser about what the X-T30, also known as the Little Giant, is all about. Something full of excitement is that I'm sure all of you in this room would definitely want to have a drink on it. But before that, ladies and gentlemen, I will now once again invite Mr. Hiro to come forward, and also alongside with our three special guest speakers who have showed up today. Probably some of you have turned up, some of them. I know they're quite big stars, in the Instagram community. Ladies and gentlemen, now it's our photo op time. Can I invite?
I am Thomas from Fujifilm Malaysia, digital camera and insects division. So really appreciate all of you coming over this morning. So I would like to introduce the X-T30 in detail. So I will introduce the X series first. So what is X series? Basically, actually is a best balance system in a lightweight and compact, yet in producing a very, very good quality to all the users. So over the 80 years, Fujifilm developed the color. So we very well known for the color for the past. So why I say it's best balance in for X series? Actually, for X series is already utilizing by the local media agency and news agency. So for producing their still photo and video for Malaysia market news coverage. So as you can see, for news agency like Utusan and Purnama, they are using our current model of the X series as well. So helping them for producing for the news coverage. So for X series, we have a APS-C system. We have two systems. So which is an APS-C system, which is a best balance system, and we have an ultimate quality system, which is in the video format GFX system. Recently, we had launched an X-T3, yet it had receiving a lot of awards. Even in the DP review, is one of the best camera for 2018. Not only that, there is an award that won for X-T3 throughout the world. That is a best camera as well. So Fujifilm have moved on to the fourth generation. Then it evolved from expanding to different shooting style. And as it's covering the still photo, all types of still photo, and to the cinema as well. So what is fourth generation? So in the first generation of the introduction of the X series, we have X Pro 1. And then on the second generation, we have X-T1. Third generation, we have X-T2. Now, fourth generation is X-T3. which is producing 10 times faster of the image processing speed and sensor speed of 10 times of sensor speed and 20 times of the image processing speed. For X-T30 series, this is the best-selling X series camera ever in Fujifilm. Over 90% of the user of the X-T30 is not a professional, but they want very high quality image. So X-T30 is well accepted by the youngster and they treat it as a lifestyle camera. In terms of summary, actually X-T30 series is, in terms of design, is a compact and lightweight, yet producing a superb quality image. And the handling, full handling of manual and auto, so you don't need to worry, you don't know how to operate the camera. And it is very versatile for shooting 4K video 30p. So the 2019, on the 4th generation of the camera, we have an X-T30 as well. So X-T30 is a little giant that only weighs 383 grams, which is very, very lightweight. As I said, it's a compact and lightweight for X series. It's well-balanced system. In detail, I will explain one by one later, in terms of design, in terms of image quality, autofocus and video. In terms of autofocus, there is a new upgrade on the autofocus system on the face and eye tracking. It has improved eye and face tracking in terms of still photo and video. Also, it has a more stable of the exposure and the face and eye tracking and supports smaller face tracking from 7%, from 10% to 7%, which means you won't miss any of your shots actually. So I will show you how the improvement from the X-T30 from previous model X-T20. So you can see there is a stable face detection, but don't worry, currently this autofocus is in the X-T3, but it will be upgraded during April for firmware update for X-T3. So both 4th generation X series, X-T30 and X-T3 have the same autofocus system. So next will be the face tracking while movie recording. As you can see, when the subject is keep on moving, the eye and the face is able to track for the X-T30 and it will have a better exposure. As for even with the obstacle as well, even with the obstacles, is able to track the eye stably. Okay. Also, it supports smaller face tracking from 10% to 7%. As you can see, the subject is moving from far, is very small and able to track when coming closer. Not only that, the X-T30 also able to have a face selection on the touchscreen. When you want to select which face, even if the subject is moving, you are able to select in focus as well. Not only that, there is a 300% of improvement on the autofocus speed from far until near, so you won't miss any shots. In terms of video, X-T30 produced 4K 30p and the film simulation internal as well is very useful for the cinematography. It oversampling for 6K to 4K for X-T30. As for the autofocus in the video, it has a faster and smoother tracking for the during shooting a movie, as I showed just now. Also, X-T30 also producing 422 10-bit via HDMI and 420 8-bit in the in-body SD card. In terms of design, it comes with a new grip design and additional focus lever, so it's much more easier for the user to handling this camera. And it has a thinner body. It has thinner body LCD touchscreen, and it has a faster response of the touchscreen as well. Also, user able have an easier autofocus selection when they are shooting through the electronic viewfinder. With a built-in pop-up flash, in any kind of situation, it will help the user to have a easier handling of the camera. Okay, it comes in 3 colors, which is black, silver, and charcoal silver. But the charcoal silver will come in end of June. In terms of image quality, as you can see, this photo is taken by our ex-photographer, Mr. Yaman. As you can see, it's produced from the 26 megapixel high resolution. You can see this is 100% crop. And it produced very, very sharp images. Also, not only for portrait, it also producing very, very high image quality in terms of low light. Thanks to Yaman for this photo, actually. In terms of connectivity, now user able to connect easily to get the photo and upload to their social media network. That every youngster now need it, and even you can shoot remotely and get the photo instantly to upload. Okay, so pre-order is still on until 20th. So you can log into our website, Fujifilm.my, X-T30 pre-order. So this X-T30 comes with, in terms of price, is body is 3888, 1855 kit is 5488. And if, let's say, you purchase now with the X-T30, you will get 1,200 cash rebate on the 3 lenses, which is 23mm f2, 35mm f2, and 50mm f2. Not only that, we are also giving additional free gift, which is 32 gig SD card, battery, leather neck strap, and base leather case for X-T30. So the pre-order is still on. You can just log in and register one now. Not only X-T30, we're also introducing the new XF lenses as well. As you can see, we have a range of f2 lens which cater for the any kind of situation from 35mm, 53mm, and 76mm. Now we are introducing the wider range of the lens, which is a 16mm 2.8. 16mm 2.8 is producing high resolution. It is a compact and lightweight, just 155 grams, and fast focus with the internal motor, and weather seal, and dust proof, and negative 10 degrees Celsius, low temperature. And it comes with hood, So together with X-T30, it's just ultra lightweight of 538 grams for any kind of usage in terms of landscape and even street. Okay, so that's all from my side for the X-T30. So I will show you the lifestyle movie of the X-T30. Okay, thank you.
These 3 individuals, as I make no strangers to all of you, you. I'm sure some of you are big fans of them. But you know, we have a few categories that we will be sharing today. And the first person that I'll be inviting is somebody who is no strangers, in the food photography. I mean, some of you probably have also, your photograph have been taken by him, candidly, and snapshot by him, because it's like he's a true cafe goer and taking amazing photos on Instagram, minimalism. Ladies and gentlemen, there's no other better than gentlemen to really experience this little giant and to go about. And right in a bit, he'll be sharing some of his amazing photographs on his food and the places he go to. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me to give Ryan a big round of applause.
Especially so many of you, it's actually quite scary. I will try my best to make this interesting because I believe that food photography can be a very interesting topic to talk about. Alright, so today I will mainly talk about Fujifilm X-T30, but along the way I will be also comparing X-T30 and X-T3 because I'm also X-T3 and X-T20 user. Okay, I will just very briefly go through about who I am. Okay, my name is Ryan. For information, I am not a photographer full-time. I am an optometrist. I work in eye center and hospitals. I've been working in eye centers and hospitals for 3.5 years right after graduated. So I recently just quit my job, a year ago, just to try freelance photography. So my area of interest is definitely on food, interior, street architecture, landscape. So I shoot everything, whether from non-living to living things. So I have also conducted food photography workshops, total of 16 of them. And also I do photo editing workshops on Adobe Lightroom, and occasionally I create social media content for cafes and restaurants. It's just something that I do. So if you know who I am, thank you for coming. If you do not know who I am, maybe you can just drop by my Instagram profile to see what have I been working on along the years, okay? Okay, how I started, basically it's all with just a phone, okay? Of course, you know that if you are using phone, you do not have ISO, you do not have a shutter speed, you do not have the aperture to play with. So you learn from the worst condition, and then when you have a camera, you are able to upskill your image quality later on. So how I started basically is very interesting. I first started with X-T1. I'm so hooked up with the color science and the versatility of the camera body. And then I got myself X-T20, X-T3, X-T30. So yeah, those are the lenses that I use for all my professional to non-professional to casual to travel, all the kind of lenses. 10, 24, 35, 56, and 90 mm. I would say that 35mm lens is one of my favorite because I find it the most versatile lens. In terms of, it's not too far, it's not too close. So the next picture that I'm going to show you is actually the gears that I'm having. So as you can see that I have a camera bag. So my camera bag is as heavy as a human body. So basically, just a very brief usage of the lenses that I have. 10 to 24mm is a lens that is one of my favorite lenses for flat lay, or you call it as an aerial photography, because I want to be able to perceive the wider context of whatever that I'm framing. So if you are shooting less tight as in wider, what happens is that you are able to crop, or you are able to scale up to the size that you want in post. Okay? So other than that, I also do Airbnb shoot with this lens, 10 to 24, amazing lens. And 35mm is waist level side shots. Waist level side shot is actually referring to any of the table that is on the waist level, like a table, like maybe this table. You can use 35mm lens. These are the tricks that I've learned along the years. So when I go to somewhere and I know that the table is of that waist level, I wouldn't mount my 56mm lens. So 56mm lens is also obviously a knee level side shot. You know, some of the cafes or restaurants that you go, you have a knee level kind of table which is quite low. Then 56mm, because you are so close up, the angle that you are able to play with is actually not that much. So 56mm will also be good, and I use it for also full body portrait for some bridal wedding shots and half body and head shot. So 90mm, to be honest, is by far my least used lens. I would only use it once or twice. The main function that I used was a surprise proposal shot for my brother in Phuket. I was shooting at so far away that they don't even know that I'm shooting. So if you are hiring a paparazzi, maybe you can look for me as well. Okay, let's look into some comparison. I will be sharing mainly on my food approach as well as some of the street approach. So one thing that I enjoy most is the dynamic range priority. Dynamic range priority is completely different to the dynamic range of 100%, 200%, and 400%. So dynamic range priority is a feature that is new to X-T30 and X-T30 that you can set it to none, weak and strong. So through my experience, weak is more than enough in a situation where you have very low ambient light as well as a high contrast scene. So dynamic range, for those who do not know, is the ability of the camera to perceive shadow and light, highlights and the shadow. So I will talk about it and I will prove my point why this function is very important for food photography, in my opinion. Okay, so there's no selector button on X-T30. X-T30, they basically remove the D-pad. The D-pad is something that is available in X-T30, which I enjoyed a lot. When they first removed that at X-T30, I hated it so much because I find it is not very user-friendly. But then because in X-T30 they have this touch screen, so I actually replaced the shortcut key to play with the flick gesture. So just to share how I customize it for it. So, and I do find that Fujifilm's feature, they are straightforward and easy to understand any navigation. It's something that I really like, because example, if I go to autofocus, everything related to autofocus is just right. It's just all there. I know that it will not go to some other panels, you know, that I have to spend my time trying to search for it. So these are the things that I really do appreciate. And of course, they do have other lineup. They do have like SA2, SA3, SA5, you know, ST100. You know, people with different kind of professional to go into it. So for food, I use Provia and Classic Pro most of the time. If you are shooting for a job, maybe food menu or something like that, you wouldn't want to use the Classic Pro on the food, because we want the true representation of the colors of the food when it's on the menu. You wouldn't want the Classic Pro. Classic Pro is something that I use personally for my social media only, because I know that nobody pays me for that, so I just do my own liking. You know, if somebody pays you, you better make sure you get your job done. So, alright. So for those who are new also, film simulation, I'm just going to show you a little sneak peek of it. Like I said, Provia and Classic Pro, actually every film simulation has their unique look. So I wouldn't say that Classic Pro is the best, but for me, I like it most. Okay, Velvet is something that you should class, you go colors. You know, you want to see all the colors that pop, especially the primary colors. And Eterna is something that is really flat profile. It's very good for you to do your editing.
Most of us here. Ladies and gentlemen, I would now like to present to you Ms. Katie Tan, as she will be speaking in Mandarin. So if you're a banana like me who don't understand, don't really just get fascinated with the videos and also the photographs.